Hi everyone, welcome to performance testing training on Neoload tool. In this particular video, I'm going to explain you how we are going to record a particular flow in an application with the help of Neoload tool. So in order to do this, we are going to have two prerequisites. The first prerequisite is we need to have the application URL handy. So as of now, I'm taking the demo application, that is the pet store application for this particular demo purpose, right? So this is the application URL for that particular application. And also the second prerequisite is we need to have the Neoload installed on our machine, right? So I already installed Neoload on my machine. So I'm good to go ahead with the recording process. So now let me quickly open the Neoload instance, which is already installed on my machine, right? So the current version of Neoload is 9.1.1, but I'm using 9.0 version, right? So once after installing the Neoload on your machine, you are going to see this Neoload icon on your desktop, right? So if you double click on this particular Neoload icon, then it is going to open the Neoload instance for you, right? And we already know like Neoload is a paid tool, right? For practicing purpose, if you are going to register with your official mail ID, that is your company's mail ID, then you are going to get the license for 15 days for free, right? So here, once the Neoload instance got opened, you are going to see this particular kind of user interface, right? So here, let us try to understand what are the different options that are available here, right? So in order to create a new project, we need to click on this new project option, right? If you want to open the already existing project, then you need to go for this open project option, right? If any projects that you opened recently, if you want to see the recently opened projects, that you can see it here under the recent projects option, right? So but for now, I'm planning to record one particular new flow, right? So I'm going to click on this new project, right? Once if you click on this new project, one pop-up will come over here. In that, you need to give the project name as well as the place where you want to store this particular project, right? As of now, I'm going to give the project name as demo project, right? And here I'm going to store this particular demo project in this particular location on my local machine, right? So once after giving the project name as well as the project location, just click on finish so that your project will be opened, right? So it will take a few minutes to open the project. So once the project got opened, then you are going to see the exact user interface of the project here, right? So mainly guys, we need to understand the Neoload with the help of three different components, right? So the first component that I want to discuss here is design component, or I can say design tab, right? And the second component is runtime component or runtime tab. And the third component is results component or results tab, right? So the entire Neoload, we are going to work in the entire Neoload process. We are going to work on these three different tabs. The entire Neoload work is going to be there with the help of these three different tabs, right? So let us try to understand what we are going to do with the help of this design tab, right? So in the designs tab, guys, we can able to do three different things. The first thing is we can able to start recording the particular flow in an application, okay, in the design tab itself. That can be done under the user path tab, which is there on the left hand side, right? So under this particular user path tab, we can start recording the application and we can do the enhancements here, right? So once the recording is done and the enhancements is done, then we need to move that particular script, whatever that we recorded over here, to the population, right? So what is populations, why we need to move that particular script to the populations, and everything we are going to learn as a part of our training, right? And also we have one more tab here called monitors, right? So in this particular monitors, if you want to add any APM tool, like let us say you are having Dynatrace license with you, right? And your application, if you want to monitor your application with the help of the Dynatrace tool, and those particular parameters or the counters that you want to monitor, right? You can add those particular counters in this monitors tab, right? So these are the three different tabs that are available under the design component or the design tab, right? And in that, for now, we are going to use the user path tab, right? Wherein we have the recording option, right? But before going to start the recording process, let us try to understand the other two tabs also. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to understand what we are going to do with the runtime tab, right? So if you click on this runtime tab, here you can see what exactly that we can do in the runtime tab, right? So this runtime tab is mainly going to be used in order to create the test scenarios. Okay, let us say after creating all the particular scripts and the enhancements are done successfully, then obviously we need to do different types of tests like load test, stress test, endurance test, spike test, right? So these types of test execution setups can be done under this particular scenario, right? Once the test execution setup is done and everything is fine, then we can start executing the test by clicking on this start playing button, right? So once after starting the test, you can see the test execution process in the runtime overview, right? And at the same time, during the test execution, you can see some runtime graphs over here, right? We are going to learn all these things, okay, in detail in our training session, right? And also we can see the runtime errors, runtime alerts, and how the users are behaving during runtime. All those things we can see as a part of our training, right? So these are all the things that we are going to see under the runtime tab. When coming to the last tab, that is the results tab, here, whatever the test executions that you made in the runtime, that you have done the setup as well as that you executed in the runtime tab, right? Those particular test results you can see here in the results tab. And also you can see the test summary, values, graphs, errors, alerts, log details, as well as the details of the virtual users and many other things in this particular results tab. Also, one more thing that we can do here is we can generate the reports, we can apply the SLAs, we can do the filters, we can generate the comparison reports, we can import the data and many other things in the results tab, right? So again, as I mentioned, as a part of training, we are going to see all those points clearly in a step-by-step process, right? But for now, let's start with the design tab, right? So our aim for today's session is we are going to start recording the application with the help of the Neoload tool. So in order to record, we need to go to the design tab, and under the design tab, we need to select the user path, right? Under the user path, if you select the user path, you can see the start recording option over here, right? Again, there are many options like flag request and blah blah things are there, but ignore all these things for now, as our concentration is going to be only on the recording process, right? So here our recording process is going to be started with the help of this start recording button, right? So once if you click on this start recording button, then one pop-up will come over here wherein it is going to ask you to provide the name of the user path that you're going to record. Okay, name of the user path here is nothing but the scenario which you are planning to record, right? So as of now, I'm planning to record a scenario called product booking or the pet booking, right? So let me give the scenario name as pet booking over here, right? And also we have different options like this particular recorded content where you want to store and in which particular type of action you want to store, right? That you can select over here. We have three different actions like init actions as well as end, right? So what are those actions and in which particular action we need to choose, right? All those things we'll see as a part of our training. But again, for now, go with the default setting, that is the actions tab only, right? And with the help of this particular Neoload tool, we can record web applications as well as tab GUI applications as well as Citrix related. And the new feature that we have in Neoload in 9.9 version onwards is real browser option also, right? So, but for now, we are going to record the web application. So I'm going to select this web tab over here. And again, under this web tab, we have two options like general as well as advanced, right? For now, I'm going with the basic settings over here, except only one small thing, that instead of recording the application with the help of Internet Explorer, I'm just selecting Google Chrome over here. So I'm just selecting Google Chrome here and then I'm clicking on OK, right? So now once after clicking on OK, one Google Chrome instance is going to be opened automatically, and with the help of that particular Google Chrome instance, if you are going to record the application, then whatever the steps that you are doing on that application is going to be completely recorded in your Neoload tool, right? So let's see now. I'm just clicking on OK here. And once if you click on OK, it is going to show one pop-up called proxy setting, and it is going to ask you, please close all the instances of this particular browser if it is open, right? Just click on continue, right? Automatically your tool itself will close the browsers if it is already open, right? And once the browser got closed and it is going to be reopened with the help of the Neoload proxy, then you are going to see this kind of tab in your browsers, right? And it's always better to record any application in the incognito mode. So just click on these three dots and open the new incognito window over here, and then give the first transaction name here, right? So here, whatever the tab that I am moving here, right, you are seeing, right? So this is nothing but the recording pane, I can say, right? So in the recording pane, we have different options. We can record here, like, so already it is highlighted, right? That means the recording process is going on. And beside that, we can pause the recording over here if you click on that. And beside that, you have the option called stopping the recording, right? And also you have the option of recording into different actions, right? And you have the option of providing the transaction name and everything, right? Many other things are there. We are going to see all these things in detail in our training session, right? So for now, I'm going to launch the application. So I'm going to give the transaction name here as launch, right? And I'm going to copy the URL, right? Copy my application URL, which is there here in the PPT, that is petstore.octoperf.com. And I'm going to paste that over here and then click on enter. So once if you click on enter, the launch transaction is done here, right? If you are able to see this page successfully loaded, then the launch transaction is done, right? As a part of next transaction, I'm going to record enter the store step, right? So I'm just giving the transaction name as enter the store, right? And then I'm going to click on this enter the store option or button over here, right? So once if you click on the enter the store button, we'll go to the next page, and let's wait till the complete page is going to load, and then only give the another transaction name here, right? So now I'm giving the third transaction name as click sign in, right? So I'm just going to do the login first. So I'm just clicking on the sign in button over here. So that is the reason why I just gave the transaction name as click sign in here. And then I'm clicking on sign in option, right? And then here it is going to ask me the username as well as the password, right? So let's log in here with the help of the default username as well as the password, that is J2W and J2W for this demo application, right? So I'm giving the transaction name as login over here, and then I'm going to give the J2W as the username and J2W as the password over here, right? So once after giving the username and password, just click on login. Then we are successfully logged in with the help of the username J2W and password J2W. Then the next transaction that we are going to perform over here is clicking on any type of pet, right? So I'm just going to give the transaction name as select any pet, right? So we have total of 5 different pets over here. So I'm going to select any one pet here, right? So let me quickly select fish over here for now. So once after selecting the pet, under this particular pet, we have different pet types, right? Or I can say it like subpets, right? We have different subpets. So let me select any subpet that is going to be my next transaction, right? So I'm going to give the name as select any subpet, right? And then I'm going to select one particular subpet out of the 4 which we are having here. I'm selecting the first one, angelfish, and again under this subpet also we have 2 different types. So I'm giving the name as select any subpet type as the transaction name, and I'm selecting the first subpet, that is large angelfish, right? Once after selecting the subpet type, and if you are able to see the details of the subpet, the next thing that we are going to do is the add to cart, right? So just give the transaction name as add to cart over here, right? And then just click the button add to cart here, right? As a next step, we are going to click on the proceed to checkout. So I'm giving the transaction name as proceed to checkout, and also I'm just clicking on this proceed to checkout over here. Right. After entering your details in this particular page, the next step is we need to click on continue. So I'm just giving the name as click continue as the transaction name here. And then I'm going to click on this continue button. I'm just keeping the default values as it is. I'm just clicking on the continue option here. So once after clicking on the continue option, the next step is going to be confirm order, right? So I'm going to just give the transaction name as confirm order, and then I'm going to click on this confirm button. Once if you click on the confirm button, your order is going to be placed successfully, and you are going to see the message called thank you, your order has been submitted successfully, right? And you are going to see the order ID too, right? So once after the order got placed, as a last step, I'm going to do the sign out, right? So I'm giving the transaction name as sign out over here, and then I'm going to click on this sign out button, right? So with this, our pet booking flow is completed, right? So once after the recording is completed successfully, then you need to stop it, right? So in order to stop this particular recording process, I'm going to click on this black square button, right? So which is going to stop our recording process, right? So once after stopping the recording process, it is going to take few seconds to open one particular pop-up wherein you can see all the server names or the domain names, okay, which your Neoload tool is able to record, right? So if you observe here, there are different domain names which are not related to my application, right? So my application domain name is petstore.octoperf.com, right? So here some unwanted application domain names or server names are also got recorded, and the requests of those particular domains also got recorded, right? So in order to keep only the required domain name and to remove all the unwanted domain names, what I can do is I can select this option called unselect all, right? Once if you select unselect all, it is going to unselect all the checkboxes which are already selected over here. And now I can go and search for the petstore.octoperf.com. Okay, so this is my server name, right? So which I am trying to record. So I'm just selecting that particular option over here, right? Now what will happen if I'm going to select only this name? All the other domain related requests, whatever got recorded, will be removed from our script, and only the pet store related domain related requests are going to be kept, right? So once after selecting this option, just go and click on finish, right? If you click on finish, then our recording process is done, right? And now how to find out whether the recording is happened successfully or not is nothing but that you can find out here by going through this action, right? So if you remember, at the time of starting of recording, right, we kept the recording content to be stored under the actions option, right? So that is the reason why go to this pet booking scenario, and under that go to this action, right? Click on the plus icon here. Once if you click on the plus icon, you can able to see all the transactions that you made over here, right? So whatever the blue color folder symbol that you are seeing, right, this is nothing but the transaction, right? So this is action and this is transaction, and under transaction you have different pages, right? Under one particular page you have different requests. Okay, this is transaction, this is action, this is transaction, this is page, as well as under page you have different requests. These are requests, right? So in this way, the recording process is going to be done in Neoload tool, right? I hope you got the clear picture of how we are going to record an application with the help of the Neoload tool, right? Thanks for watching this video, guys.